Hey, friends, it's Peggy Hall back with you to add some positive value to your life. I want to talk about who do you want to be in difficult situations. I've done many videos about how problems are a part of life, how having things be difficult is not necessarily bad, how having things easy from time to time is not necessarily bad either. Sometimes we throw rocks on our path just because things seem to be a little too easygoing, smooth sailing. So there's nothing wrong with easy. There's nothing wrong with difficult. But there is frustration and agitation and irritation that we experience when we are with difficult people. I had a good friend come to me a couple of years ago with some frustrations over a family member, and she loved the family member. She wanted to spend time with this person, and she felt uncomfortable, awkward. She felt that she was always being criticized. There was an air of disapproval and lack of appreciation, lack of empathy, lack of interest. And she just felt awkward. The person was not warm, was not engaging, never seemed to really let down the defenses. Do you know anybody like this? I'm probably mentioning some of these attributes, if I can call them that, characteristics of certain people. And sometimes those people are actually insecure. They're shy. They may have been feeling hurt or misunderstood. And so they're protecting themselves by not being warm and engaging. I've done videos called How to Deal with Difficult People. If we're talking about narcissists, I don't even really like that word either. I don't care for labels in general, but I do like to consider who you want to be in these situations, even when you are dealing with people that might be difficult, standoffish, off-putting, make you feel kind of rejected and not welcome. So first of all, we cannot change anyone. It's not possible. And we don't even really know what they're thinking. All we know about a person really is their actions and the fruit of their actions. People can tell you that they care, that they love you or love something, or that their perspective or attitude is a certain way, but we really don't know what they're thinking or feeling. Sometimes we don't even know what we're thinking or feeling, which is why a very important exercise that I like to recommend and that I try to do with myself is to say, what am I thinking right now? And why am I thinking that? And are these thoughts that I want to hold? Or is there a better thought that I can choose that would be more supportive? And what am I feeling? Can I get in touch with my feelings? Is there a reason why I might be feeling agitated, irritated, or maybe even bored or flat or apathetic? So ask yourself, what are you feeling? And try to tune into that, because your thoughts and feelings can really impact each other, as do your circumstances, and other people impact that as well. So what I'm getting at is that it's very difficult to really understand what people are thinking. And we might construe their treatment of us as if it has something to do with us. And they might treat other people that way, or they may be thinking about something and they feel unable to express themselves. So there have been people that I know that I have interacted with that are painfully shy, that feel insecure, and their reaction, the way that they interact with people, is very off-putting, like they don't want people to get too close. So with this friend of mine, she came to me for some advice, and knowing that we can't change other people, the only person we can change is ourselves. We can actually take a look at what we're thinking, how we're feeling, actions that we're taking, the results of those actions, where we are procrastinating. I've got a program coming up for you about that. If you are interested, you could go to thehealthyamerican.org and click on the products and classes. And then I've got a program called 10 Things I Wish. I think I need to change the name of the program to How to Get Unstuck, because we are going to be talking about ways to stop procrastinating on your dreams. That would be another good title for it. But the fact is, there are certain ways that we interact with people, and it's important that we understand our actions or lack of actions. But the most important thing I think we can do in any interaction is to decide who we want to be. So with my girlfriend, did she want to be a person that was feeling overpowered or that was feeling put upon? Did she want to be somebody that was going to clam up and not say anything in case she was going to be criticized? Or And this is what she told me. She wanted to be someone that felt at ease. That was the word that she was looking for. She wanted to feel at ease in this person's presence. Now, again, we can't make someone accept us or appreciate us or applaud us or even like us, but we can develop a sense of being at ease in that person's presence. So that would be the number one step, is to think and take some time to think and maybe even write it down. I am a big proponent of thinking on paper. So get out your pen and your notebook, because that also engages the creative mind much more so than if you're on a computer. So start jotting down some attributes or a frame of mind or an adjective that would describe who you want to be in these circumstances. Do you want to be someone who stands your ground? Do you want to be someone who takes the initiative to interact and engage with someone else? Do you want to be someone who's completely chill, doesn't matter what anybody else is doing or saying or thinking, you're going to sail through it with no problem? Do you want to be someone who's inquisitive or, as I say, intentionally engaging? Or do you simply want to be someone who's at ease, at peace, regardless of the situation? So step number one is just to come up with a few words that would describe who you want to be. Maybe you want to be the life of the party. Maybe you want to be the comedian. Maybe you want to outshine this person that seems a little standoffish. It is absolutely fine. These are your choices, your adjectives, your words, and who you want to be. Just give it some thought. And maybe you want to try it out a few different ways to see how you feel, because that is one. Another key component is, how do you want to feel in this situation? Do you want to feel confident and relaxed and unruffled, for example? Those are some words that come to mind when I think about this situation where you're feeling a little bit awkward, like, am I supposed to say something? I'm getting the vibes here. So that's step number one. Step number two, there are 3 steps here. Step number 2 is to practice it on your own. So imagine, if you would, that the person is in the room with you. And well, actually, before you do that, I want you to just practice those qualities without thinking about that person at all. Think about times when you have been at ease, or the life of the party, or engaging, or unruffled, or aloof, or interested, whatever you have chosen. I would like you to generate those feelings. And you can do that by thinking about times when you've been that way. Or maybe you could think about a person that you know who exhibits those traits and characteristics, and you could use that as an example for you to embody. So practice being this way when you're not in that person's presence, and see if you can develop that as a default mode. This is something that I do on a daily basis, just as an aside. In my daily work, I like to think, what have I got going on today, and who do I need to be in this day? Do I need to be someone who's really on the ball and plenty of energy and, attacking my projects? Or do I need to be someone who is going to be a little more subdued and organized and detailed? These are just a few words that come to mind. Do I want to be someone who is full of enthusiasm and appreciation and enjoyment? I usually want those words. I like those words. Or do I want to be someone who's going to persevere and put on the thick skin where nothing can faze me? All of these are valid. You get to choose. So think about who you want to be, and then practice this who you are without being in that person's presence. And then it comes down to imagining that you are in that person's presence. Embody those qualities, those traits. Maybe even think and visualize what that person would say, what their facial expressions would be, what their comments or lack of comments would be. And I'm just giving you an example of someone who is kind of aloof and unengaged. You might be interacting with someone who is very bombastic, kind of pushy, never lets you get a word in edgewise. There's another example. Think about who you want to be in these circumstances. How do you want to react? And practice it in advance. And then, so that kind of goes with step number 2. And then step number 3 is when you actually do it with that individual, remembering what your keywords are, remembering how you want to feel and who you want to be. I find that when I just kind of breathe and relax, focus on what I'm doing in that moment, and then bring in those words and develop that sense that you want to create those attributes and just focus on that. I also think about my posture. So I'm going to be in a posture of positivity and confidence, and that helps me as well. I would love to hear what helps you when you are deciding and discerning who you want to be in these situations. I have had times in my life where I determined that I am just going to sit back and not really participate. I want someone else to shine. I want someone else to take the lead. I'm not going to dive in and ruffle how does the expression go? Upset the apple cart. How do you like them apples? And then there are other times when I've determined that I really want to take charge and I want to be the leader in this situation. And all of those are valid. I think what happens for some of us is we don't have a clear idea of who we want to be in any given situation. And I would say that a lot of the situations we face in life are routine. We've got certain friends that we see, certain interactions that we have, and then there are those that just are more challenging than others. And that's when this exercise can really help you. I am broadcasting this just before Thanksgiving, and that's what put me in mind of this topic. I do have other videos on this channel about how to deal with difficult people, how to stand your ground, how to have the hard conversations. So I hope that all of those are going to be helpful for you as well. I do want to let you know that I am going to take a week off from my broadcast. So I will likely have what I call a top hit for you next time, meaning I'll find a favorite video of mine out of the archives and I will broadcast it for you again. I think it's helpful to watch these videos more than once, and you may have missed them if you are not tuning in every week. So that's what I have coming up for you, friends. Many of you have told me that you encourage me to take some time off because I do have a very prolific broadcasting schedule on the Healthy American daily, sometimes twice a day, sometimes on the weekend. I have a Substack that is published 4 times a week on average, sometimes 5 times or more. And then I also have my Living Swell channel here, which is where I broadcast these words of positive encouragement. So I am going to take some much needed time off and I am going to get out of the spin cycle. Hopefully, I'm not going to need to deal with any difficult people, but I am going to take some time to determine who I want to be in my interactions with certain people so that I can feel calm and confident and peaceful and free. I like those words. I think I'm going to embrace those and endeavor to embody those. Let me know your words, friends. And I just want you to know that you are a blessing to me. When I think about gratitude, you come to mind. I appreciate you being on board, being a part of this community. And as always, I will see you in an upcoming broadcast.